I told you I'd come on
And welcome back to True Stories from a Real Private Eye. I'm your host, Vinnie Coppola. With me is Lynn Lambdin, a 30-plus year veteran of the private investigating game here in Atlanta, Georgia. Last week, we had kind of a heartbreaking story, a sad story, a story about Lynn almost dying. So we're going to lighten it up a little bit, Lynn. What do you got for us today?
Well, Vinny, got a couple of funny stories for you, but before we do, how you doing this week?
I had a good week this week, buddy. How about you?
Yeah, me too. I always have a good week when nothing eventful happens.
Yeah, right. Absolutely.
Well, I serve a lot of papers, and you get to meet a lot of crazy people when you serve papers.
Yeah, so far I'm
And you don't always. It's not always just knocking on the door and saying, "Hey, here's your papers. Have a good day."
right.
So last night I logged on to the internet and I logged on to LinkedIn, and one of the first things I seen, it said a little quiz for you. It says a man has 30 cents, and he has two coins and it equals 30 cents, and one of them is not a nickel. What two coins does he have? And I tell you this story for a reason, and I'll tell you the answer to the story to the little quiz later on,
Okay.
because it's just a mind twist on the story.
Yeah.
And when I started,
The fact that it has to do with numbers really messes me up because that was never my thing. So
well, it's really not about numbers, but anyway,
okay.
but the reason I tell you this is because it makes you think. But I do the same thing with word games to make people think, to get close to them sometimes.
Right.
So I get a call from an attorney up here in Alpharetta.
Now wait a second. Wait. Where did you learn that technique? Did that just develop? Did you watch another private eye do that, or is that the way you just interact with people normally?
No, it just developed over time. Just finding, you serve a couple people and you say something to them and you realize that they took it the wrong way, and you learn to use that to your advantage. That's
Okay.
how I learned to do it.
Over.
It took me a few years, but
Okay.
I'm going, oh, wait a minute, that wasn't what I meant, but it worked in my advantage. So
Yeah.
I'm going to. Oh,
Yeah.
you thought I was a delivery guy? Oh, that's not what I meant, but I see what you got.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
So I'll go to I'll go to an apartment complex that's gated, and I'll just go down the list and call people I'm not looking for when I'm trying to serve papers, and they'll answer it, and I'll go hello, and they'll say, "Oh, you're for delivery." I don't say anything, and they'll just buzz me in. I didn't tell them that I wasn't delivery. I didn't tell them that I was delivery.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
So, but I get a call from an attorney up here in Alpharetta, and he says, "I need you to serve some papers for me." I said, "Okay," and he said, it's not a divorce case, but it's a domestic case. They got divorced a long time ago, and the husband is not adhering to the divorce decree, and the woman is already remarried, and the husband is not adhering to the divorce decree, so we have to sue him to make him adhere to the divorce decree. I said, okay.
Do you remember what the divorce decree was? Was it money?
Probably most of the time it's money, or they're not adhering to their child support, or they're not honoring they're not bringing the kids back at exactly 6:00. They fight over everything.
Okay.
Yeah. You didn't brush the kid's hair.
Yeah.
Everything. It's kind of ridiculous, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And you'll see how ridiculous this one was.
Yeah.
So this woman, and I really hate to interact with the clients. I just like to interact with the attorney.
Yeah.
Well, this woman insisted on talking to me. So I said, okay. So
wait a minute, just so I'm clear. You get buzzed into the apartment complex.
This was not an apartment complex.
Oh, okay.
This was just a house.
Oh, just a house. So you go into the house. Okay.
So no. So I'm working for the woman.
Okay.
And so the woman wants to talk to me before I serve her ex-husband.
I see. Okay, got it.
So now the woman's already remarried. Remember, she's already moved on.
She's gone on with her life. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So she insists on talking to me before I serve her ex-husband. So I said, okay, I'll talk to her. So she calls me, and I said, okay, ma'am, what's up? What is it so important that you have to tell me before I serve this man? Because I serve thousands of people.
Yeah.
So she says, okay, I just want to tell you that he's on crack, and he's mean, and he's going to want to fight with you.
Yeah.
I said, okay, ma'am. I said, I get it. I said, I've served a lot of these papers, and I pretty much can, run fast, and I can handle myself, and I'll point the car out of the driveway and leave the car door open so I can get away from him.
Yeah.
No, you don't understand. This man didn't want to let me go. I forced this divorce, and he is going to whip you when you get there because he doesn't. He just doesn't want to let me go.
Right.
So I said, okay, thank you. So
I go to the warning.
Exactly. So I go to the house and I knock on the door. There's no answer. So a couple of days later, she calls me back. And I said, ma'am, he wasn't home. She said, okay, he'll be home at this time on whatever day of the week it was. I said, okay, I'll go at that time. And she goes, now I'm going to tell you, he's already told me that he is going to be very angry when he gets served with these papers because he does not want to let me go. So I said, okay. I said, whatever. I said, that's fine. So I go to the house. I knock on the door, and I hear these footsteps coming. I mean, man, you could just hear him coming. They're stomping those feet across the floor, and I'm thinking, oh, my God.
Yeah.
This man's really angry. And then all of a sudden, now this was and then I'm just thinking to myself, what if this guy is really on crack and wants to fight?
Yeah. So you didn't really believe her. You're just like, yes, ma'am, right?
Yeah, exactly. And then he jerks the door open. I mean, jerks the door open. And I'm thinking, I'm going to have to fight this dude.
Was he a big guy?
Big guy, big, like 6'4", huge.
Wow. Yeah.
He pushes the screen door open.
That's weird to see a big guy, a fat guy on crack.
He wasn't fat. I mean, he was just big.
Oh, just big. Okay.
Yeah. And he says, where the hell you been? I've been waiting on you for 3 weeks. I've been trying to get this bitch out of my hair for years.
Really?
It wasn't him.
Yeah.
It was her.
Yeah.
Now, this guy has been trying to get rid of her, divorced her, she remarried, and she can't quit suing him.
Yeah.
And come to find out about it, she was suing him over something frivolous in mine and your mind.
Yeah.
It was something that he was supposed to be doing under a divorce decree that he wasn't doing.
Right.
That she wanted to sue. And of course the attorney was going to take it. He was going to make $8,000 or $10,000 off of her.
Right. Yeah.
Now, how would you like to be the new husband of this woman?
Yeah.
Every time you got to stay close to the ex-husband.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
So,
I wonder why she had to give you that warning, maybe so that she was trying to get you not to serve him.
No, I think that she was. I think that she was trying to tell me how she felt, but trying to make me believe that that's how he felt.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So she was like, she didn't want to be that woman.
Yeah.
So she put it on him.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah. So for whatever reason, you didn't have it in your head that it was her. Like you care. Like either way, you care.
Or her new husband was there, and she couldn't let him know how she really felt.
Right. Yeah.
So what are you to do?
Yeah.
So now few years, whatever it was, I'm serving another paper. And this one is great, man. Same kind of thing. Woman is remarried and she wants her ex-husband served. with some kind of paperwork. And I said, okay. And she's going the same thing. Now he's mean. He's not going to let me go. And I just get tired of listening to it after a while. And I said, ma'am, I've studied martial arts for years. I can handle myself. And she said, you better not hurt my husband. I said, your husband? I said, I thought this was your ex-husband. She means, I mean my ex-husband.
Yeah.
So I kind of figured out, where it was going.
Similar.
So I go to her house, and it's in the summertime, and it's about 8:00. It's still good and light outside. And I'm knocking on the door, and I can't hear anybody. I mean, I can't see anybody, but I can hear music playing and hear people laughing and giggling. And I'm looking around, and so I stop and I listen for a minute, and it's coming from my right-hand side, and he's got a porch, and at the end of the right-hand side of the porch, there's a drop-off. So I go over, and there's a fence, a wooden rail fence over there. So I go over to the fence, and I look over, and he's in a hot tub with 2 naked women.
Yeah.
And he's buck naked.
Yeah.
and they're just splashing around having a good old time. Now, this is the man that didn't want to let her go.
Right. Yeah.
So I said, hey, buddy. He goes, oh, I've been expecting you.
Yeah.
He said, I'll come and get it.
Yeah.
And he starts getting out of the hot tub.
Yeah.
And he stands up, and he's nothing on.
Yeah.
Naked. And he puts one leg up on the side of the hot tub, and this is about a 10-foot drop off.
Yeah.
And he puts one leg up on the top of the hot tub, and he's just hanging in the wind.
Yeah, right.
I said, buddy, why don't you just sit back down and hold your arms over the side?
Yeah. Right.
So he sticks his arms out over the side, and I drop him the paperwork.
Yeah.
He goes, thank you, buddy. I'll take care of it.
Yeah. So once again, this guy wanted to get rid of her, and she. Do you remember what her beef was? What the lawsuit?
Something over modifying child support.
Yeah,
I actually think that one was that she wanted to modify child support because she didn't agree with his lifestyle.
Right.
And that it was just because she didn't want him with those women, and she was using the kids to try to keep them away from those women. That's all that was.
Yeah.
I mean, I mean, he was a free man. He could do what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
And the kids wasn't there.
Right.
He only got the kids on the weekends.
Yeah. And the girls are hopefully not there,
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Well, this was a weeknight. This was a weeknight. So, and he was having a blast. I mean, he was grinning from ear to ear. I mean,
I guess so.
And, from the looks of things, he wasn't disappointed with who he had in the hot tub with him. He was pretty excited about it.
Yeah.
I
bet. Yeah.
I mean, he looked like he was having a lot of fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So,
or was just about to.
I mean, yeah. One way or the other.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
So, and I'll tell you about this is what I'm getting ready to tell you. I'll tell you about the whole case at a later time. This is just one serve in this case. This was a crazy case from the beginning.
Okay.
This man was cheating on his wife, and I was working the divorce case, and I was serving the mistress.
Okay.
So when I went to serve the mistress, it took me forever to serve her because she would always hide from me here, hide from me there, and never come to the door, whatever. So she hid from me. So I hid down the street, and she came home one evening. And when she came in, I rushed up and served her with a subpoena to testify. And when I served her, as she was walking in her door, I caught her at the door and served her because she couldn't get the door unlocked in time. So
she knew you were. So she knew you were coming. She's trying to get. She's trying.
Oh yeah, she knew I was coming. Now, we'd had a lot of issues with this case and
interactions. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and a lot of interactions. I'd actually. I'll tell you the whole story later.
Now, Lynn. Just because I don't know, when you're serving someone, do you have to put it in their hands? Or,
No, you
but
just give notice. I just have to give you notice. You don't have to take it. The law says you're an adult. It's your responsibility to act upon the notice.
okay, so
So,
your job is to just inform these people
yeah,
you've been served.
yeah.
So what do you have to get? Do you have to get some acknowledgement from them,
No,
or
I can drop it at your feet. If you try to roll your window up, I can put it on your windshield. Just drop it beside your car, and just say, "Look, you've been served." Then it's your responsibility to take the action that you're required to take.
so you have to be at least in earshot of them.
Yes, you have to be within earshot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they have to see you, and you have to see them. So that's
That's a loaded question. There's a case in the state of Georgia. I can't remember what it's called. It's Whitfield County. It's somebody versus Whitfield County that says that they don't have to see you.
yeah.
You
Yeah.
can't hide behind a closed door.
You cannot hide behind a closed door.
No.
Okay.
So if
Okay.
I show up at your house and I know that you're in that house
Yeah.
and I know that you're behind that door, I have to say in a loud, clear voice that why I'm there, state my purpose, and state what I have for you, and then I can leave it at the door.
And then you can
Hi,
leave
my
it.
name. Hi, my name is so and so. I have a lawsuit for you out of this court, and I'll be leaving it at the front door for you. But I have to know that you're there.
Have to know that you're there.
I have to see you run in the house. I have to see you pull in the driveway and go in the garage, and I have to see you in that car. I can't just assume that you're there. I can't see your car in the driveway and assume that you're there because you
Wow.
could have left with somebody earlier in the day.
Yeah.
So I have to know that I have to have beyond a shadow of a doubt, know that you're there. You can't.
Yeah.
It's a case out of Whitfield County where a sheriff's deputy talked to a woman at her gate, and she goes, "Yeah, I'm home. But I'm not taking your papers." And then the gate opened accidentally, and then the sheriff went up, and she wouldn't open the front door, and so he left. He announced himself and said, "I'm with the Whitfield County Sheriff," or whoever it was he was with. And then he said, "I have papers for you out of Whitfield County, and I'll be leaving at your front door." And the Supreme Court of Georgia said that is sufficient service.
Yeah.
Having trouble with that word.
That's all right.
And so that is now precedent law in the state of Georgia.
Okay. So have you ever been to court, Lynn, because someone said he never served me?
Many times.
Yeah.
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 Happens all the time.
Yeah. And the court is just going to look at her and shake their head, right?
Not every time.
Really?
Oh yeah, we've had long drawn out trials on whether service was good or not.
See?
I've actually lost some of those.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, the courts will say, especially female judges will say, "Well, I believe you got service, but I feel in my heart that we should give them the opportunity to make this correct, and the cases should be heard on its merits." Because in the state of Georgia, the courts feel that a case is better heard on the merits than losing a case based on service.
I know I'm going to get slapped for asking this, but what does it mean when a case is heard on its merits? What do you mean?
Meaning, so in the state of Georgia, the law says that once that you're served, you have 30 days to answer. And if you don't answer within those 30 days, you can pay a fine or a fee, an open default. And you have 15 days to answer once you open default, or 15 days from that 30 days to pay an open default. And then if you do not do that, after that 45 days, you're in default and you can get a default judgment. That means that you lose your case, and then what I say goes. What happened? Like if I say, Vinnie punched me in the face, then that's what happened. You lost on default. So the court says, well, we'd rather not that happen. What we'd rather happen is you present your facts. So the courts in the state of Georgia had rather hear the cases on its merits. On you present your evidence, I'll present my evidence, and the courts will decide.
The provable evidence.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So the person who I guess, refuses to admit that they were served, just doesn't get involved.
Well, yeah, if they don't, if they, well, so basically, if you have an insurance company, like in a car wreck,
Yeah.
an insurance company will jump in and open the fault and answer that. If you are an individual without an insurance company, a lot of times they don't care. They just said, well, I'm not going to get involved. I'm not going to answer it. I'll just, whatever the default judgment is, I'll go file bankruptcy on it.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Crazy world.
Crazy
right,
world.
sorry about that. That's cleared up for me. Yeah.
So anyway, so I served this woman at her door, and she follows me to my car, which is probably, I don't know, 30, 40 steps. And she's cussing me and calling me every name in the book, telling me that I am a disgrace to this world, that I am the lowest piece of garbage. And she was using every profanity that she could come up with.
Yeah.
Tell me everything but a child of God. And told me that my job was so disgusting.
The mistress of the guy.
Don't get ahead of me, Vinnie.
Okay, go ahead.
So I stopped and I just took a deep breath and I just looked up. I looked back down and I turned around and I looked at her and I said, I'm not the one screwing a married man. And I didn't use screwing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, right. Yeah, good for you. Yeah.
And it stopped her dead in her tracks.
Yeah.
She didn't know what to say. She didn't know which way it was up.
Right.
And then I got in my car and drove off. And as I was driving off, I looked in my rearview mirror and she was still standing there with her mouth open.
Yeah.
She had no idea what to say to that.
Yeah. She's calling you a piece of crap, this and that and that, and then that you made her look at herself. Yeah.
I kind of smacked her with reality.
Yeah.
Yeah. She had no clue. I mean, it was just like, wait a minute. I'm the one sleeping with a married man. He's going to make me tell the truth about it.
Yeah, he's just doing his job. Yeah,
yeah. Exactly.
I'm the bad person here. Yeah.
Yeah. So the reason I asked you that question earlier
about the coins.
Yeah. So the answer to that is it's just a trick question. It's a mind game to make you think.
Yeah.
One of them is not a nickel.
Yeah.
Well, one of them's a quarter. Of course, one of them's not a nickel.
Right. Yeah.
So the reason I ask you that and bring it up is because I do this all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I will call people. I called a woman once, and her son had been in prison, and I was trying to serve him with papers. And of course, like most people who have been in prison, they run from you, and they have no true identity in society. They're only known as Bubba or whatever. So I called her up and I told her that I said, yes, I'm looking for whatever his name was, Joe. And she said, he's not here. Can I help you? And she was real protective of her son. And I said, yeah, ma'am, I was in Jackson State Prison. She said, oh, you was in prison with my son. That's all I said.
Yeah. And you didn't say yes or no.
I didn't say nothing. I didn't say yes or no or anything.
Yeah.
So she actually thought that I had been in prison with her son and told me everything about him, where I could find him.
Yeah.
You know, that he got a new tattoo.
Yeah.
And everything that he had his tattoo, his prison tattoo covered. Yeah. And everything. So I went and served him.
Very, very smart, dude. I love that.
So I basically just told her that I'd been in prison.
Yeah.
I found his prison record and knew that he'd been in Jackson State Prison.
Yeah.
So that's all I told her. I've just been in Jackson State Prison.
Yeah.
And I've been in Jackson State Prison, but I wasn't incarcerated. I just went down to serve a inmate there once.
Right.
So I'd actually been in Jackson State Prison.
Yeah.
So I didn't lie to her.
Yeah. just out of my curiosity, when you serve this guy, how did you find me? Your mother told me.
No, he didn't even ask.
Okay.
Most of the time, my theory or my practice was to serve them and get out of there before they have time to think about anything.
Yeah.
I don't stick around. Now, if they want to ask questions and they don't want to fight, I'll try to answer a few questions for them. Like, hey, most of the time I don't even know what they're being sued for, because I've served so many of these. I don't look at them. I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
They give them to me and they say, go serve them. And I say, okay.
Yeah.
I don't even look at them. What am I serving them with? I don't even look to see when I do my affidavit, I have to list what I'm serving them with.
Right.
I'm serving them with a summons and a complaint, interrogatories, whatever.
Yeah.
I have the attorney email me those, or their paralegal email me the title pages. That way I don't even have to look at what I'm serving them with. I just say, send it to me, because I don't even want to look at them.
Yeah.
And I don't even just put them in an envelope and seal them up and I'll go serve them. I don't even, I've served so many of them, I don't even look anymore. But now when I first started, I'd look at everything. I'd read them and, but
right.
after a few hundred of those, it's like, I don't care anymore.
I never get asked, why am I bothering? Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And,
So,
but do the majority of them go easy? Like, here, you've been served. Maybe a little bit of cussing, but boom, 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 without all this chasing and stuff like that. Or what would you say? Were the majority of them easy, or the majority of them like these?
Depending on what you're serving.
Yeah. Okay. I guess that's true. Yeah, it depends on the case. Yeah.
The divorce cases are always rough.
Yeah.
That's why I hate divorce cases. But
yeah.
I'll tell you a good divorce case in a few weeks.
Okay.
Or whenever we get around to it, where I got rocks thrown at me.
Okay. And
pissed me off.
Yeah, this was fun, man. Always funny to hear. It's always great to hear the funny ones. Remind me what you were gonna, just give them a preview of what they're gonna hear next week. You said you had an idea of what you might talk about next week.
Yeah, next week, Vinnie, I think we'll talk about Doc Holliday, or actually,
that's right.
Doc Holliday's father.
Don't give him any more.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Definitely come back for that, my friends. He gave me a little taste of it before we started recording. If you like the movie Tombstone, if you're a fan of westerns or just fan fiction of Doc Holliday, you come back and join us.
No fiction involved.
Yeah, a fan of Doc Holliday. You might.
It may be fiction. They may have lied to me. Hell, I don't know.
Well, Doc Holliday was a real guy.
Yes, he was.
Yeah. So what they told you may have been, but
but I don't think so. They showed documentation.
Yeah. Anyway, if you're a fan of Doc Holliday, that's one you're not going to want to miss. But we do so appreciate you being here. Thank you for continuing to listen. If you could just subscribe to the podcast and maybe leave us a little review, that would really help us out, and we would so appreciate it. I'm Vinnie Coppola. If you like comedy and goofy videos, check me out online, www.vinnie.com. You can follow me on all the social media. All my links are there on my website. Another fun one, Lynn. Thank you so much.
I enjoyed it, Vinnie. It's always fun to tell these stories, and after almost 30 years in the business, it's time to tell a few of them.
Yeah, and I'm telling you what, man, I'm having the time of my life listening, buddy. This has been a lot of fun.
Well, we'll get them out there.
Okay. See you guys next week.